Imagine being in a conversation, surrounded by people discussing trivialities, the latest gossip, superficial news, or a repetitive topic that leads nowhere. You try to contribute by introducing deeper thoughts or more interesting analysis, but all you receive are blank stares, quick subject changes, or worse, the feeling that no one truly understood you. Eventually, you may come to the conclusion that perhaps it's better to stay silent. If this scenario sounds familiar, rest assured, you are not alone. The issue lies not with you, but with the fact that intelligence does not unite people. It sets them apart. The more you comprehend the intricate nature of the world, the more challenging it becomes to find like-minded individuals. Do not be deceived. This intellectual solitude is not merely a product of your own perception. Society subtly shuns those who dare to think differently. Arthur Schopenhauer, one of history's most brutally honest philosophers, believed that extreme intelligence is not a blessing but a curse. It represents a burden that isolates those who perceive beyond the everyday illusion. According to him, the more you grasp the world's contradictions, the more exasperating it is to elucidate them to those who dwell on the surface. After all, the majority of individuals do not seek truth, but rather seek comfort. This leads us to ask a fundamental question. If intelligence leads to isolation, what is the solution? How can one thrive in a world where finding like-minded individuals feels like an insurmountable challenge? If you have ever experienced this sense of disconnection, this intellectual emptiness resulting from the absence of genuine intellectual discourse, then this video is tailored for you. Perhaps the issue lies not in your loneliness, but in what it uncovers about the world around you. Is intelligence a gift or a curse? On the surface, it may appear evident that heightened intelligence should simplify life. You grasp concepts swiftly, discern patterns others overlook, and evade common errors. Yet, in reality, this same intellect intended as an asset becomes a concealed barrier isolating you from the rest of humanity. Arthur Schopenhauer comprehended this notion more profoundly than most. In his view, supreme intelligence sentences an individual to solitude, as the majority simply shuns deep contemplation, not due to incapability, but owing to the absence of social advantage. Why probe philosophical quandaries, challenge established beliefs, or perceive institutional hypocrisy if these only yield disquiet? For most, life is uncomplicated when they acquiesce to the world as is, sidestepping demanding queries. However, you cannot suppress it. Your mind ceaselessly dissects, scrutinizes, and detects nuances unnoticed by others. You pinpoint deceit, persistence in delusions for convenience, and experience exasperation attempting to communicate, only to realize nobody truly listens. Not out of disagreement, but because your words disrupt the snug narrative they've woven for themselves. This underscores a crucial truth. Society esteems conformity, not veracity. There exists an imperceptible framework underpinning functionality, reliant on individuals upholding specific illusions. The pursuit of happiness through consumption, the belief that success only comes from following a predefined path, and the unquestionable authority of common sense are deeply ingrained notions in society. Those who dare to challenge these ideas are often viewed as a disruptive presence, out of sync with the norm. This pattern is evident in history, where esteemed thinkers faced rejection before gaining recognition. Socrates met his demise for supposedly corrupting the young with his probing questions that unveiled the ignorance of the powerful. Meanwhile, Galileo endured persecution for asserting the simple truth that the earth orbits the sun. Similarly, others like N were scorned and labeled as mad for questioning the foundation of Christian ethics. Even Nikola Tesla, despite his groundbreaking inventions, passed away in obscurity while others reaped the benefits of his creations. In contemplating the present era, one may wonder if the treatment of innovators and freethinkers has truly evolved. While technology has advanced, the essence of human nature remains immutable. Our society continues to marginalize those who deviate from the mainstream, albeit in subtler ways than the explicit rejections of the past, such as during the Inquisition. The isolation experienced by individuals with divergent views manifests in feelings of alienation, difficulty in finding like-minded peers, and a pervasive sense of being misunderstood. This reflection leads to a fundamental query. Is the predicament of the intellectually gifted a result of their own shortcomings or of the society they inhabit? Perhaps the underlying cause of their isolation lies not in deficient social skills, but in the discomfort truth often brings to most individuals. The clear sight of the insightful is met with reluctance by those who prefer the comfort of ignorance. This voluntary blindness, this refusal to delve beneath surface appearances, erects a formidable barrier between the enlightened few and the rest of the world. If there is one aspect that society dreads more than any other, it is the unsettling nature of truth that challenges the status quo. A person who thinks independently finds that most individuals adhere to an unseen script, echoing preconceived notions without ever scrutinizing them. This phenomenon is the true reason why intelligence does not foster closeness, but instead drives people apart. Consider this. Encountering someone physically stronger may evoke admiration. Encountering someone wealthier may lead to envy. But encountering someone with superior intellect typically triggers resistance. Strength and wealth are external assets, whereas intelligence reveals something more delicate, the limitations of others. The presence of a profound thinker compels individuals to reckon with their cognitive weaknesses, a discomfort that many find unwelcome. Intelligence acts as a reflective surface, showcasing to others the confines of their beliefs, the shallowness of their interactions, their entrapment in cycles of distraction and conformity. When faced with such discomfort, individuals tend to respond with aggression or avoidance. This sheds light on why thinkers have historically been seen as threats. As Schopenhauer recognized, society not only shuns those who challenge its norms, but actively penalizes them. The more one distances themselves from mediocrity, the more isolated they become, as most people prefer to evade reality in a world that esteems convenience. The weight of truth is deemed too cumbersome to bear in a society that values ease. This rejection is not limited to intellectual circles, but permeates everyday interactions, manifesting in subtleties that make notable persons unique. When people ignore your observations and perspectives, change the subject, or overlook patterns deemed negative or complex, a gradual distancing occurs, pushing you to the margins for seeing what others choose to ignore. This rejection does not indicate fault. Rather, it implies seeing beyond the smokescreen, trapping many in illusions. Intelligence can lead to isolation not by choice, but due to being shunned by a world uncomfortable with these insights. Feeling isolated based on your thoughts reveals that this solitude may not solely be enforced by others. Often, it becomes a self-selected state. Initially striving to connect and share ideas with like-minded individuals, the strain of these interactions can lead one to conclude that solitude may be preferable. Schopenhauer posited that intelligent individuals seek solitude not to spurn society, but out of necessity. To deep thinkers, the world often appears as a shallow stage, where many feign comprehension without introspection. Joining this theatrical performance demands significant mental exertion, with minimal reward in the end. Socializing's cost frequently includes exasperating, vacuous conversations and interactions lacking substance. One must compromise their intellectual depth to ensure communication, leading to a gradual distancing process. Initially, one may begin avoiding certain social circles due to feeling unwelcome to share ideas. This evolves into selecting interactions more carefully, prioritizing conversations that hold significance. Eventually, it becomes apparent that one's own thoughts often provide the best company, not out of disdain for others, but due to their perceived lack of substantial engagement. However, therein lies a perilous trap. The initial isolation, thought of as a sanctuary, can swiftly morph into a mental confinement. A thinker's mind is ceaselessly active, always analyzing and questioning. Without intellectual stimulation or someone to exchange thoughts with, cognition can spiral inward, forming a closed loop where coherence only exists within one's own viewpoint. Intelligence may distance one from ignorance, yet it also has the potential to ensnare individuals within a bubble of personal comprehension. This is where solitude transcends into a profound state of psychological exile. Even amidst a crowd, a sense of disconnection prevails. Although interactions and conversations may occur, a profound sense of absence lingers, a lack of genuine dialogue or the exchange of substantive ideas. The tragedy of self-imposed seclusion lies in its quasi-involuntary nature. No one truly desires complete isolation. However, when the world offers only superficial connections and engagements turn burdensome instead of enjoyable, loneliness appears as the lone viable path. This paradoxical scenario unfolds. The broader one's understanding of the world, the emptier their place within it seems. Intelligence is an invaluable trait that is frequently rejected by society. Those who possess the ability to see beyond the norm are often ridiculed, ignored, or even attacked. The simple answer lies in the fact that the world is structured for conformists, not for independent thinkers. Throughout history, society has consistently favored individuals who adhere to established rules rather than those who dare to question them. From a young age, we are conditioned to follow orders rather than think critically. Our education system prioritizes memorization over inquiry and encourages us to accept preconceived truths without investigation. Students who ask too many questions are deemed disruptive. Employees who propose changes are viewed as destabilizing, and citizens who challenge prevailing narratives are often marginalized. Arthur Schopenhauer astutely observed this societal tendency, asserting that a culture of collective mediocrity suppresses independent thinking due to its perceived threat. He posited that most individuals seek comfort over truth, as the reality uncovered by genuine inquiry is seldom soothing. This ethos elucidates why many seminal thinkers throughout history faced rejection before eventual recognition. Figures like Socrates were condemned to death for their probing of societal values, while Galileo was persecuted for his assertion that the earth did not occupy the center of the universe. Those who dared to challenge prevailing dogmas, such as nature itself, critiquing Christian morality, were labeled as mad. Even in contemporary times, revolutionary thinkers often encounter skepticism before gaining acceptance. This aversion to intellectual prowess is not exclusive to renowned philosophers and scientists, but permeates everyday interactions. It manifests in our hesitation to engage in profound discussions, evident when others quickly divert their gaze, or display impatience when confronted with alternative perspectives. Society fails to appreciate critical thinking and actively discourages it because individuals who engage in deep thought challenge narratives, reject simple answers, and threaten the system that relies on conformity to function. While society desires the benefits of intelligence, technology, scientific advancements, and philosophical innovations, it shies away from the discomfort that profound contemplation entails. Those who possess extreme intelligence find themselves in a lonely minority, burdened by their deep understanding of reality, which, as Schopenhauer observed, diminishes the ability to find pleasure in life. Unlike most people who find solace in illusions of intrinsic meaning, justice, and rewards, deep thinkers question these premises and ultimately confront the unsettling truth that nothing is guaranteed. The distinction between an ordinary individual and a thinker is evident in their perspectives. The ordinary person has the ability to delude themselves, finding contentment in illusions. In contrast, the thinker perceives the world in its true form, a realm marked by chaos, indifference, and inherent contradictions. The thinker acknowledges that morality is not absolute, but rather a construct of society. They recognize that the pursuit of happiness often leads to a futile cycle driven by culturally ingrained desires. The thinker also understands that many individuals prioritize validation over seeking truth, casting intelligence as a burden in this context. Once enlightenment dawns, one cannot revert to blissful ignorance. This newfound understanding creates a growing disconnection from their surroundings. While society celebrates mundane achievements like material possessions, career advancements, or fleeting romances, the thinker questions the significance of these pursuits. What may satisfy the masses appears shallow to the thinker, intensifying their sense of detachment. This feeling of displacement amplifies gradually until the thinker feels estranged in their own era. It is not surprising that many eminent intellectuals throughout history grappled with melancholy and depression. Pascal lamented the daunting silence of the universe, while Kierkegaard articulated the anguish of individual isolation. Kafka channeled his alienation into literary works, and Schopenhauer, known for his profound pessimism, viewed life as an endless cycle of desires and disappointments, with escape seemingly elusive. Question: can intelligence condemn us to see the truth without illusions, leading to a dilemma between comfortable ignorance and absolute despair? Some may regard intelligence as a burden that leads to isolation and deep understanding of the world, leaving one at the mercy of their own mind. How can individuals who perceive beyond superficiality avoid being engulfed by their thoughts? Schopenhauer proposed that embracing solitude and channeling energy into productive pursuits is key for thinkers to attain peace. He advocated that instead of striving to assimilate into an incomprehending society, intelligent individuals should view solitude as a privilege. Nevertheless, human nature craves connection, even among the intellectually self-sufficient, seeking understanding and meaningful dialogue. Despite the rarity of such interactions and society's propensity to undervalue profound thinking, intellectual solitude need not equate to complete isolation. Through books, philosophy, intellectual communities, art, and historical examples, like-minded individuals can be found. Many distinguished thinkers throughout history led secluded lives, emphasizing the possibility of meaningful connections, even in solitariness. Ideas transcend their time when they are recorded, discussed, and eventually recognized. Another important aspect is to focus your intelligence on something meaningful. A mind lacking challenges and purpose can easily trap itself. By creating, exploring, and constantly learning, one can transform the weight of intelligence into a powerful tool. Furthermore, it is crucial to accept that the world will always resist those who think differently. Society seldom embraces great thinkers while they are alive, only later appreciating them when their ideas are no longer seen as threatening. This suggests that those who feel they don't fit in may actually be where they should be. Have you ever experienced feeling isolated due to your unique way of thinking? Do the people around you struggle to keep up with your worldview? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. If this message resonated with you, make sure to watch the next video as this conversation continues.